Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing Tales of the Jedi Season 2. It's been a minute since I've updated you last about this show and its second season. We're gonna go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As a read, the fan favorite Star Wars Tales of the Jedi has received an update as to when the second season of the animated series will drop its second season. Set before and during the prequel trilogy and Clone Wars era, Tales of the Jedi Season 1, which premiered in October of last year, 2022, delved into some previously unexplored areas of the Star Wars canon. Notably, the shorts chronicled the birth and eventual training of Ahsoka Tano, while also giving the newly introduced Yaddle and the veteran Count Dooku additional character development and telling their backstories. The first season of the show had proved rather popular, and at Star Wars Celebration of this year, 2023, it had been announced that Season 2 was in active development. This year all being said, what's the release window looking like now for the Tales of the Jedi and its second season? Now, taking into account with everything that's been going on with the recent strikes for the Writers Guild of America and the SAG-AFTRA actor strikes that have been going on here now for the last couple of months now, taking a look at this, when the initial second season had been announced for Tales of the Jedi, they said that it had already been in development. So seeing that the Writers Guild and that have been kind of just started a couple of months ago, rather actually for both of these strikes, I feel pretty certain that the Tales of the Jedi's second season was already far away from the whole writing process and everything with that, and that the whole writing process for the second season was already complete and long kind of just already done anyways. So the whole Writers Guild strike doesn't really affect, I think, anything with the delays or anything into those terms with the second season of the Tales of the Jedi. It's the SAG-AFTRA actors strike, I think, is where we take a concern here for a potential release of the Tales of the Jedi and its second season. Because with the guild and their working conditions, the actors technically aren't allowed to work while these strikes are going on, and that goes for a lot of Star Wars projects as of right now, as of late. And in case you didn't know, of course, both of these strikes have really turned everything in Hollywood upside down and have really halted everything that's been going on. However, I will say, in good news, and I'll make another video talking about this stuff in more detail and in more depth here on the channel shortly, so stay tuned for that. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. The Writers Guild of America is what's being looked at to be fixed first by many studios, as they want to get that underway and kind of fixed, come to negotiations, and they are actually discussing negotiations as of right now to work out some better just terms and conditions overall, better working conditions, better wages, and everything of that nature. The reasons of why these writers are actually on strike to begin with, and from there many of the studios want to move on with the actors and then kind of figure out their whole situation, negotiate with them and how they can better everything in their working conditions and wages as well. Now, as I had mentioned, I'll discuss and talk about that and everything with the both of these strikes going on in a separate video here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, I will also say it's just kind of too smoky for right now to tell if they had actually been through with the whole process of the actors and had completing the voice acting for the second season of Tales of the Jedi. That's something that's simply up in the air, but maybe a majority of it could have already been recorded and been worked out from there. So a press release issued by Lucasfilm had recapping its Star Wars Celebration of this year. Announcements revealed that Tales of the Jedi Season 2 is currently in production and is set to release in 2024. Well, whether or not that is pushed back, it's still going to release in 2024. I feel pretty certain on that, if for anything. Whether or not they had been eyeing an earlier release date for the 2024 release or later in the year 2024 release, that is something that's kind of just unknown. Now, as of last we had heard officially from Lucasfilm, the animated series series had joined the second season of Andor, the third and final season of The Bad Batch, and The Acolyte as the Star Wars franchise's on-screen 2024 releases. Now, those were all kind of announced at Star Wars Celebration earlier this year, as I had mentioned, to also be releasing in 2024 alongside with the Tales of the Jedi Season 2. As of right now, because of those ongoing strikes, they're all in shambles and are currently all up in the air. Some of them are being delayed and pushed back, such as Andor Season 2 is now eyeballing a 2025 release as of I had last heard. I'll have another video discussing that and talking about that when we do have official word or just more sources discussing and talking about Andor Season 2 and for all of these. The Bad Batch Season 3, the final season of The Bad Batch, is also underway and has already completed its production, so it's ready to release in 2024, and The Acolyte had also finished and wrapped up its filming and production, so as soon as it gets started with its post-production, that there should also be underway and should be able to release next year in 2024 as well. And if I'm being honest, I'm honestly not sure if they're allowed to do any pre-production things for any projects like shows or movies because of these ongoing strikes. I don't really know what the terms and conditions are, and if I'm being even more honest, as I had mentioned kind of in some other videos here on the channel, I'm not really exactly sure why these guilds say that they're not allowed to work. Like, for example, with the actors, why they aren't allowed to go film and do their projects or shows that they want to do. If the actors want to partake in these projects, like whether it's a show or movie, why can't they just go do it? Because I have heard many cases of where some actors don't really care for these ongoing strikes, they don't really necessarily support it all that much, whatever the case may be, but yet they're still halted from working on any TV shows or movies that they would want to because of these strikes. So I'm not really sure on what is necessarily stopping them. Maybe if you know, let me know in the comment section down below. Maybe that sounds like a dumb question. I'm not really sure. Anyway, though, as I had mentioned there, I'm not really sure if pre-production is able to move forward with these ongoing strikes, so if you also know anything about that, let me know in the comment section down below. But however, for what I had heard about into the regards of pre-production for many of these projects within Hollywood, they are able to move forward with that if they had finished their and completed their overall production and filming before the SAG-AFTRA actor strikes had began on. This year all being said, I do believe that Tales of the Jedi Season 2 is still eyeballing a 2024 release. And so furthermore, what could Tales of the Jedi Season 2 actually really cover? What stories can it tell? The first season, as indicated above, focused on characters from the prequel trilogy and Clone Wars, and had featured younger versions of already established figures and characters like Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn, which was amazing to see. However, Tales of the Jedi is a pretty broad title, just overall. They can kind of talk about or tell the stories of whatever eras they'd like. There's really no reason to think that additional installments wouldn't cover other characters in other time periods, maybe in the original trilogy or the sequels, for example. Perhaps Season 2 will have an episode about Yoda and his exile on Dagobah during the events of the original trilogy, or maybe even show a little bit of Luke's continued Jedi studies in between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. At any rate, with only 4 series confirmed to be releasing next year, to a point, it seems very likely that all of those would be releasing sometime in 2024. It's kind of 2025 that we have to worry about. This year all being said, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What are you guys anticipating to see with Tales of the Jedi in its second season? What stories would you like to be told and kind of see with it? And what do you guys also think about its kind of sketchy release date, if it's going to be releasing in 2024 or pushed back? I myself, as I had mentioned, feel very confident that it will be releasing next year. I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.